Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is Bruce Lane, the Executive Director for GTI Energy. Bruce, it's great to see you. How are you?
Hi, Shae. I'm great. Thanks very much. And it's great to be here with you.
Now, I'm thrilled to get talking about your project because it's an unusual mineral in an unusual location, or at least you don't expect these two to be together. I am, of course, talking about the Lo Herma project out in Wyoming in the US. Now, we're going to get to what it's about shortly. However, you've just put out some really good drill results last week. Let's get into the details of those first.
Yeah, Lo Herma is our lead project in Wyoming. We've got a few projects in the US, but that's the one we're really focused on. And what we were trying to do with these drill results is a number of things with this drill program. One is just prove the depth and the thickness of mineralisation in the deeper part of our project. So there's two formations. One's the Wasatch, the other's the Fort Union. And this latest round of holes was really to give us a lot more information about that deeper Lo Herma formation. And what we found is, we've got some really good thicknesses and some really good grades down in that lower part. So we're really pleased with those results.
Now, Lo Herma is actually an in-situ recovery type of mineralization. Can you expand on what that means for everybody not familiar with that term?
Yeah, so around 50 to 60% of the world's uranium is mined using in-situ recovery mining techniques. And what happens is we drill a series of holes into the ground and inject a leach solution and then into a subterranean sandstone ore body, which is in an aquifer. And then we pull that water out with uranium impregnated into it. And then we get it to a water treatment plant, essentially on the surface, where we separate out the uranium and put treated, cleaner water back in the ground. And in our case, in Wyoming, mostly it's alkaline leach, so it's essentially just baking soda, like carbon dioxide, oxygen, and water. So it's very environmentally benign. No digging the ground up. It's cheaper to mine. It's cheaper to build the plant, and it's very low impact for the environment. So it's a great solution, particularly when you're looking to produce a clean energy mineral. It's the full package.
Now, I wouldn't mind touching on permitting because there's obviously very uneven regulation across the US. To move forward, what does the permitting process look like for GTI Energy with this particular project in Wyoming?
Yeah, one reason there are 7 permitted facilities around us in Wyoming is because it's an agreement state. So there's 4 agreement states in the US. Wyoming is one of them. And they handle their own permitting. They don't do it through the federal government. They do it at the state level. So it gives us a very clear path because we've got these permitted facilities around us and there's a long history since the 60s and 70s of this kind of mining in Wyoming. We can be very assured that these projects are highly likely to be developed if they're of economic consequence. And so we've got Shirley Basin, 8.8 million pounds, about 40 miles down the road from us, which is being built at the moment, constructed. And there's another one about 8.1 million pounds, another 40 miles away, that's Encore's project in the Gas Hills at a similar stage. So what we're trying to do is target a project of around that size as a starting point. So we have 5.71 million pounds at the moment. This drilling program, we're hoping to push the resource up, the global resource up around that 7 to 8 million pound mark. And we believe that'll be enough to put a scoping study on the project, which we can commence by the end of this year. So that's what we're heading for, and they're the big catalysts of the company.
Well, speaking of catalysts, what kind of news flow can we expect to see from the company over the coming months?
This last announcement marked the end of most of the resource development drilling that we were doing. So it was our sort of third announcement of drilling results. We're taking a bit of a break now. We come back in the middle of October to finish off some hydrogeological holes and to construct some water monitoring holes. We've also got some core material. We'll probably get a little bit more core material so we can do some leaching tests and some other met work. And then off the back of that, which will probably conclude at the end of October, probably early November, pretty soon after that, we'll put out an updated resource statement and an updated exploration target. And at that point, we'll probably make a decision at that point about whether we proceed with a scoping study. And I just sort of emphasize that the scoping study is not a huge exercise for us. It's it's a few $100,000, and we think we can complete it in the first half of 2025. So we're on a path to be able to put that economic story around the project as soon as we possibly can.
Now, listen, Bruce, over the weekend, Microsoft came out and they announced that they're looking for AI centers that are powered with nuclear energy. Tell me, how does this sort of sentiment from essentially one of the top dogs in the tech space bolster our small cap uranium shares?
Oh, look, I think it really helps with awareness of the importance of nuclear going forward. And Microsoft is also, well, Bill Gates in particular, is building a natrium salt reactor in Kemmerer in Wyoming, which is only a couple of 100 miles down the road from our projects. So Microsoft's just inked that deal with 3 Mile Island to take the power from 3 Mile Island for 20 years for $1.6 billion. Larry Ellison's talking about it. Elon Musk's talking about it. We know that Amazon Web Services has already done a deal to buy a data center with a nuclear power plant attached. So, look, the smart strategic money knows they need nuclear. They know they can't run mission critical data centers with windmills and solar panels and batteries. So, don't let me convince you about all that. There's plenty in the media. I think it's a great story for nuclear in general and for junior stocks in particular. Hopefully, it helps people become a little bit more aware of the real potential here for nuclear, particularly in the US, where they've pledged to triple nuclear power. They're already the largest producer in the world. They buy 50 million pounds of uranium a year. They're saying they're going to need 3 times that much within the next 20, 30 years. So we think we're positioned in a great spot. Best state in Wyoming to be mining for uranium. I think it's the best country in the world to be mining for uranium as well, quite frankly, at the moment. So, we're getting really excited.
Bruce, it sounds like there's some exciting tailwinds here for GTI Energy. Thank you so much for being here today. This has been a great chat.
Excellent. Thanks, Shae.